What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. And today's video is all about the do's and don'ts when you're texting a woman. If you're new to the channel, we're releasing a video every day at 4 p.m. Eastern discussing men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. Won't you subscribe and hit the notification bell and join us? And to my returning friends like David Mosley, salute. Now, like it or not, in today's world, text messaging is probably our primary way we communicate with one another. But it's easy for us fellas to get it wrong when we're texting a young lady. Am I texting too much? Not enough? Did she understand I was joking? Was that taken out of context? Trust me, I get it. There's a lot of pitfalls. That's why in today's video, I've got a bunch of do's and don'ts that'll make your communicating through text much more effective. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, my first do on how to text a woman is text her relatively soon after you guys exchange numbers. I'm talking about within the first 15 minutes to 2 hours. Now, I hear what you're saying. A lot of the pickup artists will tell you, man, wait a day or two. You don't want to seem too anxious. That's some old bull, and I'll tell you why. If you wait a day or two, it comes across as if she was an afterthought. So if that's what you want her to think, go ahead and wait. Instead, within the first couple of hours, send her something along the lines of, hey, this is Jeff. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I look forward to getting to know you. That way she knows meeting her was memorable. Now, along those lines, make sure in that first text, you use her name. If you don't use her name, it makes it seem like you forgot it. And on top of that, no pet names right away. No babes, no honeys, no sexy. You don't know her like that yet. Now, one of the things you don't want to do as you're starting to text this young lady is hit her with these generic, hi, what's up, what you doing text. Terrible. Pet peeve for a lot of ladies. Let me explain it to you this way. I'm assuming the young lady you met, she's pretty fly, right? So there's a bunch of other guys texting her, believe that. So if you hit her with generic text, you don't stand out. You just blend into the background with all the other guys. So what should you text instead? Make sure it's specific to you and her. What I suggest is refer back to something that happened when you guys first met, whether it's a joke you told one another or something you observed in an environment where you came together. That way she's specifically put in the frame of mind of how she felt when she met you and was impressed enough to exchange numbers with you. Now, although I don't want you to hit her with generic text, please don't hit her with the back-to-back, long drawn-out questions either. You're trying to get to know her, not interrogate her. When you ask her these long drawn-out questions, it puts her on a spot. Now she's got to formulate how to answer all these things in text form. And that's not the medium for that. Save the deep conversations for in person. Now, another thing you want to do when texting a woman, before you hit send, please make sure there's no misspelled words or poor grammar. Listen, sorry to say, she's judging you on this. If you send a bunch of misspelled words and use incorrect grammar, you can come off as less mature and less intelligent you might actually be. Think of it this way. If you were handing a resume, would you send one with typos? So don't send a text message with one either. Now, another thing to pay attention to when you're texting a woman, ease up on all the sexual talk and suggestive language. Listen, in general, women aren't into that as much as we may be. It's not turn her on. In fact, it may be having the opposite effect. Now, an occasional playful banter and flirtation here and there, that's cool. Now, the caveat to this, if she's initiating all the sexy talk, go for it, my brother. Now, speaking along those lines, please, no unsolicited pics of your Johnson. She really doesn't want to see that. And if you feel that comfortable just sending random pics of your private area, she's judging you on that. Now, notice I said unsolicited. If she asks and you feel comfortable, then by all means, go ahead. And also, ease up on the bathroom selfies with your shirt off. She don't need to see your gains that way. Now, one of the other important things to know when texting a woman is how soon do you reply to one of her texts. You don't want to be Mr. Clingy that as soon as she sends a text, 5 seconds later you're replying. But on the other hand, don't be Mr. Too Cool for School that doesn't answer for 6 to 8 hours later either. The delicate balance you want to achieve is, I suggest you wait maybe 15 to 30 minutes after you receive a text. That way she knows she's important, but she also realizes you have other things going on as well. Now, along those lines, you want to make sure the amount of texting you're doing is in proportion to the texting she's doing with you. This is what I mean. If she sends a one-word text or response and you're hitting with multiple back-to-back texts, that's not proportional. You're Mr. Clingy and Mr. Needy. If she's not responding in kind to you, she might just not be that interested. Or she's going to respond out of guilt. You don't want either one of those. So make sure you're responding in proportion to the amount of texting she's doing with you. Now lastly, let me leave you with this. Make sure you use text messaging for what I think it's for, especially when you first meet the young lady. It's to establish rapport so you guys can go out on an actual date. So have some playful banter back and forth for a couple of days, but eventually steer it towards meeting up. You make a plan, have a time and place picked out, and ask her out. If you've done your job correctly, more than likely she says yes, and we're taking this off the phone and into real life. Okay, so there you have it. My do's and don'ts on how to text a woman. Do us a favor and let me know in the comment section what you do to make sure you're communicating effectively through text. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hit that like button. It helps the channel grow. And of course, make sure you ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos we release every day at 4 p.m. Eastern. And I'll see you tomorrow.